Hi, I'm Cindy Hathaway with Fons and Porter, and today's Sew Easy lesson is on trimming album cross blocks. We're going to deal with one size today that is an 8-inch finish block. Your pattern instructions will tell you what size you need, but for today's Sew Easy lesson, it'll be 8-inch finish block. We have one album cross block that's untrimmed. You can see the corners are outside of the block, and we're going to show you the method to come up with a template plastic that will have marks on it to help you trim your block. I'm going to move these out of the way for now. What you're going to want to do is get yourself some template plastic, and that could be bought at most any fabric shop or supply store. And you're going to want to cut the size that you need for your block. In this one, we are going to need an 8.5 inch, and I would use a bigger ruler to cut the size that I need. It'll show you on your directions. And I would recommend using a rotary cutter that you don't use for your fabric, because this will dull your blade. So I have already pre-cut one for today's lesson. It's 8.5 inches. Whoops, better slide it over so you can see that it is truly 8.5 inches this way, and it's 8.5 inches this way. So we've had that, I already pre-cut that. Now the first set of lines that you want to make is to dissect this in half. So half of 8.5 would be 4.25 inches. You want to line your ruler up to 4.25, and you want to use all the lines on your ruler to make sure that it's straight across the bottom, straight across the top, and down the side. So my first line, and I'm using a permanent marker. I prefer the Fons and Porter permanent markers because they don't smear. So I'm going to put my line down there. I've cut that in half. Now I want to cut it in half the other way. And you'll see why this is important in just a couple minutes. So again, I've done 4.25. You're just using half of your block. And now I have drawn the line so that we have 4 quadrants in here. And you're going to, again, your directions will tell you, cut out a piece of paper. I'm going to bring this block back in. In the end, I want to be able to cut, to have a line that lines up with the center block, which in this case happens to be 2 inches. So I've got myself a 2-inch piece of paper that I've already cut out. I'm going to take just a small piece of tape and roll it up, put it on the back side. And what you're going to do is you want to line your paper up so each corner is lined up with the lines that you've just drawn. So I've lined up each corner with one of the lines, and you only want to use a small piece of tape that's not too awful sticky, because you're going to remove it. Draw a line on each side. Turn this around. Draw another line. And if it's not exactly smooth, it's okay. It's still going to be a good placement guide for you. So you're going to take that off. Take your tape off, take your paper off, and it gives you the square to line up. We're going to take our uncut, untrimmed album cross block, and you're going to be able to lay this so where your paper was, where you drew around it, that is on the outside of your center block, and you'll see that this lines up your corners, because this line will go through the center, this goes through the center. You've lined this up so that it'll come out with nice, perfect corners. You're going to take a marking tool. I have the Fons and Porter mechanical pencil, which has ceramic lead, and draw a line all the way around. This will become your cutting line. I'm sure that several of you have used this template plastic, and you could cut with your rotary cutter along the side of it, but I choose not to because it's easy to cut your template plastic and you want to reuse this. Once you've made it, you want to continue to reuse it. So I'm going to put my klutz glove on and just go ahead and line the outside of the ruler up on that white line. Make your first cut. Spin your block around, again line it up with the white line. And continue around your block. After I've cut the first one too, I want to mention that I like to line my ruler up so that I know that I have a nice straight line at the bottom. Make another cut. Whoops, didn't quite get through there. Sometimes the where the seams are, you have to push down just a little bit harder to cut through there. And one last cut. And you have a nice trimmed album cross block with nice square corners. So this makes it a lot easier than trying to make a measurement that comes out an odd size for your square corners. You just, when they have you sew this, you're going to sew out beyond, your piece is going to be out beyond, and then you're just going to trim it down to size. And that's all there is to it. Thank you for joining me today for the Sew Easy lesson on trimming album cross blocks. I hope you'll check out other Sew Easy lessons on fonsandporter.com.